Okay, so hello everyone. I think many of you probably know me, and if you don't, so my name is Ali Muhammad. I am the coordinator of this network, this DIH², which we started, which is an ongoing European project. Actually, what DIH² is a pan-European network of robotics digital innovation hubs for agile production. So that's very straightforward. It tells what it is. My background is in robotics, and I have been most of my research work has been focused on robotics. In past few years, it has mostly concentrated on robotics for the manufacturing industry, especially the challenging aspects, which the parts which cannot be automated by the industry. We are normally addressing those problems which are beyond the state of the art. So why is it called DIH²? So I think the fundamentally what maybe many of you are familiar with this law of network, which is from Metcalfe, that the value of network is proportional to the square of the member. So I think basically fundamentally what we want to emphasize is that a digital innovation hub, so DIH, I think this word itself doesn't need much explanation nowadays. It's basically short for digital innovation hubs. As you know what digital innovation hubs are, but why we put a square there is to emphasize that what we are actually looking at is to get the more value out of the network. And actually, the value of the connections, value of the network is not just how many members you have. Actually, if you enable the connections between different digital innovation hubs or different members of a network, it's proportional to the square of it. So it exponentially increases the value for every member of the network. So why we want to create a network of digital innovation hubs? As you know, that the digital innovation hub is not a new phenomena. This has been going on since let's say like for last 10 years or even more. Before that, there were some other instruments, similar regional instruments were proposed, but Digital Innovation Hub is somehow going on and surviving, as many of you are familiar with the fact that there is even now a concept that these are supported by directly by European Commission, and they are called this European Digital Innovation Hubs, even though they are regional bodies. But fundamentally, a digital innovation hub is a collection of organization. It's a regional body. It's a regional network of many different stakeholders. I think this picture is very much old and very familiar, that there are many different actors and stakeholders within this digital innovation hub. They work together to drive the innovation forward, so the government make the right policies, investors can bring the money, the competence centers and technology suppliers bring the technology on board, and then of course there are customers like large companies and SMEs and so on. So fundamentally, this is the idea of a digital innovation hub. But what really goes in reality is that none of the digital innovation hubs, or many digital innovation hubs, are normally focused on one aspect or one technology or one field. And at the same time, they might not each of them have all the actors and stakeholders. So what the network can do is to enable these larger connections, to make sure that each digital innovation hub, what they are missing, so they can get access to that knowledge that that part from another member in the network, which may be located in some other part of the Europe. So when we started with a already with a very high ambition. As the name of the network says, that it's the network or pan-European network of Robotics Digital Innovation Hubs. So when we started, we decided that we must cover already the whole Europe. We must start with the coverage of the entire Europe. So as you can see that this was the initially we started. If you go to our DIH² website on the contact us and click on the contact us, you will find that there is actually a digital innovation hub or a contact point for the network already in every part of the Europe, in every country, sorry, not every part, but every country. So we started with that because we wanted to create already a practice. Then what we want to do is to continue this expansion. Is starting from 26. Today we are 71. And our ambition is that we are going to reach 170 or more to make sure that every corner of Europe is connected with our network. And that would mean that every corner of Europe have the same access to technologies and expertise through the network as any other. So because there are many regions in Europe which do not have any competence center, or they struggle with the investment, or they have lots of manufacturing, but the digital technology is on a very is on the very basic level, and they cannot be supported. The companies cannot really be supported to enter into the digitization. I think this is also important to say that we originally plan to actually many of you know this, that we plan to already start our expansion at the beginning of 2020. Our goal was that, okay, we started to select new digital innovation hubs and get them on board with us and start to move forward actually as a network for a very long time. But around the same time when we actually selected first few of the very first members. Around the same time, the whole world was hit by this COVID pandemic, and the whole process had to be delayed. Basically, we thought that it is not the most intelligent thing to do to start a network of people who have never met each other, who don't know each other, at a stage where there is no possibility for them to come together, because we wanted to start a network where people can actually sit around a table, can not only digitally but also physically able to communicate with each other, because I think that's very, very important when we are starting with a network. Okay, so what our network is about, what do we want to do? So the objective is very, very straightforward for us. So the only thing for us, the important thing is that we focus on the robotics and AI. We are not focusing on 3D printing. We are not focusing on there are probably many different, like if you think about there are many ICT systems and many related to welding, or there are in number of technologies out there, cyber physical systems and so on. But what we focus in AI and robotics. So basically connected together, we think that the most challenging problems now we are facing, which robots should solve, requires the accompaniment of AI. The AI must support the robotics to actually, for the robotics technology to go forward. So that's where we are focused. We focus on robotics and AI, and then our application sector is agile production. So manufacturing is the main focus area. Of course, robotics is used, as you know, that in many areas, in healthcare, in food production or agriculture. It's also used for inspection and maintenance in space, undersea, many places that the robotics is used. But what we will specifically focus is on the manufacturing, on the production. So that makes our goal very focused and our purpose very simple. So I think in that way we can go forward knowing that this is what exactly we should be trying to achieve. So this is very a good thing to clarify at this stage, because we all know in the last few years, the digital innovation hub phenomena, as I said, that we have been going on for last 10 years or so, and digital innovation hubs have been developing, and then there are different entities emerging into different regions. And at the same time, there is no shortage of networks also, probably. At the moment, at the European level, of course, there are standard European organizations. We know, like, for example, Robotics, we know Big Data Value Association, we know EFRA, so Factories of the Future, and then we also, so there are many such platforms already existing where RTOs get together. There are also non-official structures, which some RTOs, which seniors from those companies or from those organizations, they already know each other for decades, so they like to get together every now and then and have some dinners and some coffees together. So those already exist. But I think we are diverging from that approach in a way that I think I have been part of many of these networks, and my experience tells me that there is a lot of similar organizations always coming together to do the same things. So actually making progress requires that multiple stakeholders come together, the different parties from end user for the whole value chain, and actually new potential members in the value chain should be able to come there and create unique combinations and unique partnerships to go forward. And I think that's in most of the networks when I go, it's more or less very same kind of organizations. They are all looking for the same, they all have the same goal, but there is difficult to build partnerships because it's like lots of straight single men in a matchmaking. So here, what we have, how we are trying to differentiate, or how we differentiate ourselves, is that we make sure that when we are doing this selection and when we are putting this network together, we are actually looking at the needs for the European manufacturing sector. We are also looking at the assessment of the high-level groups in the Europe. And we are looking at the European, for example, Horizon Europe program and many regional programs, that how these are changing, how the demands are shifting from just very basic focus on technology to a bit wider audience. So now what we have in our network is, of course, we have this RTOs as the connecting point for the digital innovation hubs, but then we also have regional development agencies, AUCs, RDAs. So we would like that they are also because they have quite good connections with the local companies. They can provide very important data about the economy of the region. They can also play a very important role in the policy making, and provide the information to the regional companies and the bodies and the national governments in the same way. We also have clusters of the companies, the manufacturing companies, and also technology supplier. Plus, we are also have this unique presence of social science and humanities and art clusters, or art digital innovation hub. And these are not just selected for any reason, but these are actually partners who do work regularly with manufacturing and with robotics, and they can actually bring some very unique perspective, as we know that as we are going forward toward the Industry 5.0, the concept which has been coming from the Commission. The role of these actors is of very important. So I think in that way, if you compare the DIH² network with any existing network at the moment across Europe, we are way different, and we are looking towards the future. I think this is one of the main instruments. So basically, I'm not going to in the upcoming seminars or webinars or our meetings, you will hear more than what we have been doing and what we can offer and what is out there more. But I will just briefly explain that during this during this DIH² lifetime, we are running this technology transfer program. And actually, the fundamental idea of this technology transfer program is, of course, technology transfer is happening during every of these small experiments, what we are doing. But what we are actually generating is a set of practices, is a set of tools, is a set of technology, is a set of knowledge which we can and we will share with the network. And the idea would be that these practices, this knowledge can be learned and can be taken and can be continued and can be advanced in the coming days when you have, for example, when you go to the next regional, some niche regional program, regional development program, or some European program. So you will have lots of things which you can take and go forward with. And in coming days, you will hear how we have been running this program and how we plan to go forward with this, what we have generated from this program. And as you can already see from this, that it's not only about the technology, there are also about like ethical issues, cybersecurity issues, and all the matters, different matters we have been having. So what are we will be doing? What is really like concrete? It is very, I think the core, the objective of the network I already described in one sentence. But what we will do is we will create our policy document, our set of requirements and set of our demands. And then with those, we will engage the EU R&D program. So we will share that knowledge and information with EU either directly or through one of the existing instruments like public-private partnerships. As you know, that ADRA and the Made in Europe are the ongoing public-private partnerships in the Horizon Europe program. So we have very good connections also with them. Then we will also engage the regional bodies for better funding opportunities. So I think our voices and our things should be carried to the regional development agencies. We will support you in that, and we would like to hear your experience so that the other can also use that. Build partnerships to achieve collective excellence. So in here, basically, as I said, that we are coming from many different backgrounds. We can all do many different things. We have all very different strengths. So this makes us much, much stronger. So we all come together to achieve, to build new partnerships and to solve new challenging problems. And at the end of the day, when we are all doing this, so we can share our stories and our knowledge. So this is one of the, I think this is one of the most powerful element of our network, because at the moment within the European community, there are no strong group of network exists where you can effectively share your knowledge with people who matter. I understand that we are, when I have been a part of many European projects, and of course I run it, and then we are engaging, of course, in the marketing and dissemination activities, and this is normally shooting like shotgun and hoping something is also. We use LinkedIn, we use internet and websites and all that, but there is absolutely getting our knowledge to the whole community that this is the project we are running, either regional. Regional is almost impossible nowadays to get to know, to let other people know that what we are doing. Even for the European project, it has been difficult. So this would make it very, very easy, very, very fast for you, for the whole community to know that what you have been doing and what you are achieving. And this is very powerful because if I tell you my side of the story, whenever I am looking to put together a combination of partners to achieve some new target, I'm always looking who has been doing some recent activity. And that makes it very powerful to tell that what you have been doing recently. Operational model of the network is that it's basically all of us have the equal rights. All of us decide what do we do. And in coming days, we will organize several of these kind of events where we would like to ask your opinion, that what do you think we would like to do. Of course, we will offer some tools and like to get your feedback, that did you find it useful or did you think that it wasn't very useful. What is coming next in so this is as you know, that this is our first official webinar where we are welcoming you, and now the next this series will continue. We would ask you to provide more information about your digital innovation. This would be absolutely minimalistic, but very, very important. Absolutely minimalistic, but very, because we honestly speaking, there are tons and tons of catalog exist about where the information of your digital innovation hub exists. And so we don't need to do that part again, but we need some very simple information, and you will hear it very soon from us. We will also have a series of webinar, and you can see that this picture there in this then we will elaborate what we have been doing and how we have been doing things in DIH², and that may help us to go forward in the Horizon Europe and other regional programs. We will also have support available if some of you wants to visit another digital, or some of your researchers wants to go and spend 2-3 months into another region of Europe, into another RT or into other technology center of Europe. Working there, we have actually a program we can support. We can provide certain support, which for traveling and for everyday living, we can provide some support, so you have the possibility to apply for that. And again, the idea is that when you go from place to place, you share your practices, you share your knowledge. And the most important thing is that we have a sponsor. We are one of the sponsors of your European Robotic Forum in 2020, which is organized in Rotterdam. And on 25th of March is our first physical meeting, first strategic meeting, where we are going to have some discussion. We will have some people from the European Commission, from some European technology platforms, and together we will have the possibility to look at, okay, what do we do next? So please mark this in your calendar. Of course, you will receive a calendar invitation for it also. But if you're coming to European Robotic Forum, just to let you know that this is actually day after the European Robotic Forum. So that ends on 24th of March, and this is on 25th of March. So, but please be there. If you have any questions and feedback during any of the time, I know you all have my email address, but I do not necessarily know all the answers. So the best thing to do is to send the email on here, because then we can decide that who is to address this problem or this question, who is the best person in our organization to do it, and then we will follow up in that way. Thank you very much. That's all from my side. I think now we will have the Maria will explain further that how we go forward from here, what are the next steps to do, and then we will have the possibility of question and answers in the very end. Thank you very much. So Maria, I make you the presenter now.
Okay, Ali, thanks.
Okay. And
okay, can you see my screen now?
yes.
Okay. Okay, let me. Yes, now. So hello everyone. My name is Maria Gisbert, and I'm working at the DIH² project. Specifically, my role is giving support in the networking tasks. And here today, I will explain you a bit further on what's the core of this DIH² network, which are the local evangelists in robotics. And yeah, my background is in economics, and I am a technology and innovation consultant at Eurecat. So to explain what the DIH² network is and what we do, it's important to divide this in different layers. The first one is what Ali already explained, the DIHs that are part of this network, which would be the organizations and the nodes on the map that we are right now almost all over all Europe and extending. Then we have at the bottom the community of practices that we are building in the context of the DIH², which are all the protocols and the mainly the protocols that we are building during the project and that we expect to improve and to keep expanding with you, the newcomers, so that the protocols become the definitive and the more efficient ones. And then we have at the very core the layers, the local evangelists in robotics. I'm not sure you know about this figure, but that's why I will explain this today here. But in any case, these are the persons, the people at the core of each DIH taking part of this network. They are the real faces in front of the organizations that conform the network. And yeah, going a bit deeper in each of these layers, as Ali was saying, we started with 26 DIHs, then we are 25 in the DIH² consortium, but extending right now to 58 more. And then our ambition is to be more than 170 by the end of the project, which is in more or less 1 year.
Maria, just to correct, to clarify, we are 71.
71 when we sum up, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And then if we go to the bottom of the layers, here's the community of practices that I was telling you before, which are the protocols of the network that we have and continue to build. And these are very important since we are, as I said, all over Europe, and Europe is very diverse when it comes to, well, geographically and culturally, and even the DIHs that we have in our network have different maturity levels. So it's very important that we all come together and we establish these protocols so that our work has the quality that it requires, and that so that the less mature DIHs can learn from the practices and from the more mature ones, and that everyone comes to the network events and to the sessions and to share their experiences from their own experience in the regional in the region, because it is when this becomes a rich experience, when the learners in this case are able to detect what are the weaknesses and what is needed in their region, and come to the community of practices and put it on the table so that others can help or suggest what's happening in their own region, and then improve it. And so yes, and in the middle we have the LERs, the local evangelists in robotics, which is mainly this figure that we have for each of the DIHs conforming the network. We have one person that's named local evangelist in robotics. And why did we choose this wording? Well, evangelist has many meanings, but the one that we liked was that it's an enthusiastic advocate, which means we are looking for local evangelistic, enthusiastic and advocate in robotics. More specifically, when we look for a layer, a profile for a typical layer would look like an individual with a wide range of experience working with regional SMEs in their own region, that's well connected and very rooted in the region, well known, and that it's eager to improve advanced manufacturing in their region. More specifically, what they do when they come to the network is that they serve as this point of contact between their the local SMEs or the regional SMEs and our network, so that they come, as I was saying, with all the knowledge of what they are good at or what they are missing and what they think can be done to improve it. They also inform the network as experts in the region and participate in the definition of this community of practices. So that's very important, this figure, because it's the person that allows for the knowledge to flow from the network to the local or regional DIH and the other way around. And what do learners get out from the network? Well, they get many things, but the most important ones are that they have access to this European level networking, which is what DIH² is about. But it's true that, as Ali was explaining, this hasn't been the best, during the last 2 years already. Due to the pandemic, we've been missing a lot the in-person contact, but we've been having the online sessions, as many as we could and as worth it as we could. And hopefully we can start soon, very soon, in the ERF event. Maybe it's going to be the first in March, having it in person. And we're sure that this is going to be very beneficial for all the learners participating. And they also get access to the mobility program, as Ali was saying. This is a program that we have in the context of the DIH², where learners or any other person involved in the DIH² project in their organizations can take part on this exchange. Well, or no, it doesn't require to be an exchange. You can also be only one way, where they can visit another DIHs that they find interesting and that they want to learn more, and go there and live for at least minimum 1 month to live and to see hands-on what they do and exchange the best practices, and yeah, always with a goal of exchanging the best practices and bringing back home what has been learned, and hopefully applying something that they learned by the hosts. Then they also have access to this community of practices that we're trying to build. I was mentioning some of the things that we do. The experiments are for sure one big thing that we have on DIH² and that you will get to know further in future events. And then we are trying also to showcase their achievements, and one of the examples is what Loop 16 has been doing, and Michael specifically in the project, showcasing the stories of some of our LERs, starting with the story by Lair Harry Kusala in BPT, which I highly recommend you to go visit. And if you don't do it yet, you should follow us in the LinkedIn profile and in our social media. And there you can read the story by Harry Kusala, the interview that Michael conducted with him. And it will help you also seeing what's the profile of a typical, let's say, LER in our DIH² network. And so with all of these and seeing what I just told you, that what a LER should be, now we will ask you, the newcomers, the new DIHs that have joined our network, to do the exercise of choosing your own LER, which is going to be the point of contact for us invite for the future events, and when we need to define anything new in the context of the network, or to participate in sessions related to the sustainability of the network in the future, or anything that requires this view of this local evangelist in robotics from your region. So we need this person, and we need you to do this exercise internally in your organizations to look for the person that you think fulfills this requirement. How do you do that? Well, you can refer to the previous characteristics that I explained you about how alerts should be. You can also read the interview from Harry, and then I guess it's not going to be that hard for you to spot that person in your organization that can take this role. And the way that you are going to inform us about this, who is this person in the organization, is going to be through a questionnaire that you will receive in the following days. You will receive this questionnaire probably by me, and it's very simple. It's going to be asking you if you already done the exercise of choosing the future LER for your organization. We will need their name, contact, and perhaps a second contact that we will need in case we need to contact someone else in the organization. And once we have all this information, this will be transferred to the website that Ali was showing you before, with all the flags for the countries that we have right now in the network. And so that people, when they are looking for help from their country, from another country, they can see which is the local evangelist in robotics in their country, and specifically in the region, and they can perhaps contact your LER and get some input from them. So that would be it from me, and I think we have some minutes now. If you have any questions, we can comment it now, and if you don't want to do it now, I can also give here the contact DIH² email. Yeah, if you want to get in touch later. Yeah, thank you so much, and yeah, I can take any questions if you want.
Thank you, Maria. Mira can be enabled for people to ask if they have any questions.
Yes, thank you, Ali. Thank you, Maria. We have already 2 questions concerning the recording. If it will be available, I can answer to this one. Yes, it will be. I think we will let to the attendees know the channels. And the second one is from Philip. He says, greetings from Serbia, but no, there is not a question. So do not hesitate to ask your questions in the question box, so Ali and Maria can answer to that.
Yeah. To let you know that this LER, local evangelist in robotics, when you are choosing this person, this has to be someone who is very well known in the local ecosystem. For the manufacturer, especially manufacturing SMEs and the manufacturing technology startups and the technology suppliers. So this person should be very well known, well trusted, and have very good reputation already in the region. In some cases, we have also chosen someone new, like the junior person as an LER, but normally in connection with somebody senior, because of course, the idea is that we should be able to build for the future. So this LER is someone very, very important, because they are going to be the carrier of our voice to everywhere. So they should have already an established reputation. So that's very, very important. Other thing, I would say that one element, what we will be doing, what we have been doing, is to put up a practice of organizing regional robot days. So around a certain time of the year, we together all different digital innovation hub organize a local robot day. So we all invite certain companies, we present them the possibilities we have in our RTOs or in our other competence centers and research institutes. And basically that becomes the starting point of a next cycle of program for us. So then from there, we choose some challenging tasks and then we go forward to put them together and then look for either funding, private funding, or some national funding or European funding. So many of these things will be done by the LERs. So please choose someone who has influence and who is very well reputed in the local industry. I see we have some questions. Is it?
I don't know if you can read it. LER of new DIH shall cooperate primarily with DIH in the same country, or cross-border cooperation is also possible? Question from Tama.
Yes, of course, we are a European network. So we have very little control on what you do on the regional basis. On the regional part, we more or less want to support you. We want to give you things which we have learned from our national experiences that they can also help you. We can also help you to get in contact with, for example, with regional development agencies, which normally controls the funding. But more or less what we are doing is to enabling the cross-border connections throughout Europe. So connecting you with the partners and making European partnerships possible.
And we have a few more questions. Another one is from Julian that says, does participating in this webinar mean that the application submitted via funding box has been accepted? Because I did not receive a document confirming this, only the email by which we were invited to this event.
Okay. Every organization which received this invitation, and actually you should have also received a welcome message from me, and that means that yes, you have been selected. If you also received this email from us, like this invitation, this webinar, it means that you have been selected, unless someone else have forwarded you the link and you did not receive it directly from me, or someone in your organization didn't receive it directly from me. So then you have to check that have you been selected or not. But if you have not been selected, the selection procedure is open. You can still go and apply and get selected in the next round. So it's still possible.
Perfect. We have another question, Ali, from a few more actually that are arriving. Aniko asks, hi, sorry, this is not clear for me. If the tech transfer program, we are the ones who receive the support, or we need to organize SMAs for the calls?
Yes, and, actually, this is if we are going to execute this tech transfer program in the future as a network, because this would be there would be a combination. There could be a regional programs and there could be a European tech transfer programs, and we can continuously support and observe them. But as an LER, I think the important thing is that you engage the companies in your region. No one else, and I don't think it's actually in your benefit that some people from outside actually engage the companies from your region without your knowledge. That will happen anyway, and that is anyway a positive thing, but you are completely cut out of the fact that what is going on in your region is normally probably not a good thing. So we would like that you are the ambassador of your region.
And Aniko asks again and says, so who the stages refer to?
Sorry, who the stages refer to?
Refer to.
Which stages? You mean in the technology transfer program, or?
Aniko, can you please clarify this point so we can answer to your question? And we can, yes, Aniko says yes.
Yes, so the stages, this is a program which is run in a certain form. There are many stages into it. And this has been inspired by many of the acceleration programs, which goes across the world in many places, because it increases the selection process can be very, very intensive, but the chances of success of the program goes much higher with this kind of program. So we can share this, but it is not necessary for everybody. If you're running a regional program, or if you set up a different, so you do it in a different way. And it would be great if you can come back to us and say that, hey, we did something differently and it was much better in this way. So we will share this information with you. There are good sides and bad sides of running this program in so many stages. But so it doesn't need to follow exactly this order.
Okay, and after that, Tamas, a national working group of LERs can be useful because of communication in national language. What do you think?
Of course, I think that especially when we are talking about small, medium-sized companies, as you know, that in Horizon Europe, as we are going forward with the Industry 5.0, the involvement of the worker, the individuals are very important. We have to make sure the cultural heritage of every region, every place is preserved. So we think that the language of a local LER, which can talk to people in their local language, is very, very, very important. This is I cannot stress it more. Of course, we would like that LER also speaks English, so that he or she can also communicate with us on the other side. But being able to talk in local language, and fundamentally, the performance of an LER is the defining factor for the success of the Digital Innovation Hub. So if you can inspire more and more companies, if you can connect them with the regional funding opportunities and the international funding opportunities, then I think that defines that how successful an LER is.
Perfect. And we have 3 last questions. One is from Tarun saying, hello, one LER has to be chosen per DIH or one per each institute, SME, RTO in a DIH?
No, one per DIH. This is also important. We have to really think hard that we do not want to have multiple LERs from every region. So this is just to let you know very clearly, the DIH² partnership is not completely just open. So we select members in a way that we want to make sure that there is a good representative in each region, in each place, and there is one LER, some prominent LER in each region. We do not want multiple LER from every region, like 10 of them from every place. So that becomes very, very problematic, because then everyone is going around presenting conflicting messages, or maybe sometimes even just the same message again and again to the same people. That's very ineffective and inefficient and bad for our network.
Perfect. A few more questions continue to arrive. Even now we are a bit limited with time. Iñaki asks, he says, we have received your acceptance email. Are we expected to sign any contract in the coming weeks?
Exactly. Actually, I was waiting that when the questions will be finished, I will address this. You will be receiving a contract from us to sign. As you know that you are all required to do certain things, and then you are all eligible for 10,000 euros. But trust me that there are 2 very important things. Of course, you will receive the contract, you will sign it, and we will do things. But first of all, this contract is only for a short period of time. Our network is going to continue beyond this. So we eventually think that you will be paying us back. I think all organizations actually pay for different memberships. So we would, it will be beyond this contract, we would be charging for continuing these activities, enabling these connections and these partnerships. The other important part is that also many of you know that this 10,000 euros is a very small money, so it's not about that. but you will be receiving a contract from us. The contract will start from 1st of March 2022.
Okay, perfect. Simon and Juha, the two last questions. From Simon, thanks for the presentation. How do you envision the collaboration and difference with EU Robotics/Spark? And there is a link here.
Yeah, just to let you know that the Spark partnership has been ended already. So there is no more Spark. There is a partnership called ADRA, which is actually not only between EU Robotics, but there are 3 different big data value association. I think there is an AI and robotics. There are 3 or 4 different associations which have now one common public-private partnership, which is called ADRA. So the Commission have these vehicles to collect the input from our side. So, but we will either provide the input directly to the Commission or through one of these vehicles. We have, of course, very good connection with EU Robotics. They are one of the parties where we want to build a very good connections. There are some others, for example, EFRA is another possible partner for us. So we want to build good partnerships with them. So it's in a way, what we do should be carried to the Commission. That's the idea.
And the
but
final
we are not
one.
we are not the same kind of network like EU Robotics. We are because you know that EU Robotics, you go there is underwater robotics, space robotics, and everybody is doing navigation, everybody is doing manipulation, everybody is doing all the possible things what you can imagine. So we are very much focused on first of all manufacturing, and then other element is that we have a very different variety. So we are acting like a big digital innovation hub. So we have many different kind of stakeholders. So the partnerships are can be very, very wonderful here.
Okay,
yes,
and the last one is from Juha. I am a project manager in One Horizon 2020 AI robotics project. My organization is also a DIH. What kind of cooperations could we have with DIH² network regarding the Horizon 2020 project?
I think what we will offer you is a wonderful channel where your message, the knowledge and the results and the wonderful stories you have done in your project, you can immediately communicate to this group. Fundamentally, knowing about the European project branding and marketing and dissemination is one of the most wasted effort probably, because every project they start to create their brand. By the time they produce any results, the project is ending. By the time anybody get to know about the project is ending. And then the project ends, and then you start to create a new brand, a new logo, and the people start. So here, what is really effective is that as soon as your project starts, the whole network of the stakeholders become aware of it. We will make sure that everybody knows that there is now a new project started. Every time you need to publish a story, we will make sure that everybody in the network get to hear. So that's very different as compared to, for example, you may have 1,000 or 2,000 links on the LinkedIn, but they don't really know and they don't really care. I'm sure that you also don't know many of them on that who are these people connected to. At least I don't.
Okay, and we don't have more questions.
Okay, so yeah, I think we thank you very much for all of you to be here. I think it was very, very good. Almost all the new members are here. When we send the invitation to all of them. Next time we will try to have also the existing members, so hopefully the group will be much larger, even larger than now. And all of you will be receiving a contract from our side. You please sign it and send it back to us. So then we move forward with that. In the coming days, we would also like you to tell us that, hey, do this. This is where I think is the problem. So we are also listening.
Thank you very much, Ali. Thank you, Maria. And to all the participants, we will follow up with the recorded versions, and we will keep in touch with you in the next days.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.